Hello and welcome to this cross-stitch Flosstube video. My name is Tina. This is Simply in Stitches. It has been a knitting channel for quite a while because I've been concentrating on my knitting. I lost my stitchy bug, but you may have seen my whip parade about a month or so ago, where I was pulling out all my cross stitch again because I was feeling the need to stitch. So I thought, I've been stitching for the past couple of weeks, I thought I'd do a little update. I've been including a little bit of my cross stitch in my knitting videos, but I thought it might be best just to have two separate videos so you can pick and choose what you want to watch on the channel. Thank you to everyone who watched the whip parade. It was really nice to go through all those whips. I have some drawers here that they were in, then I put them away because I was feeling guilty for not stitching on anything. Now I've brought them out again. So I have got 9 projects on the go. 4 of those are Mirabilias, big Mirabilias, and I think that was part of the problem, that because I've been stitching on these for so long and didn't feel I was getting anywhere, I've just felt demoralised. And I am a process and a product stitcher, but I do want the end product, and yeah, I just seem to be saying the same things all the time and I just lost my oomph. I was oomphless. But I've got that back now, so I thought I would share what I've been up to. So the way I'm going to tackle these whips is I want to go down from a 9 to 6 whips so that I actually get some finishes and not have so many big projects. I only want a couple of big projects and then some small ones. So try and get down to 6. I am doing a rolling rotation. So what that is, and what it's been working out for me past few weeks, is that I've got them in order. So I do Mirabilia, something else, Mirabilia, something else. And so I've got a list, so I'm just working down my list. So I have a goal. When I start doing stitching on it, I think, right, I'm going to get to this. Obviously, if I don't want to and I want to pack it away before then, it's just a goal, so I don't have to. But I've got an end point, because sometimes when I'm stitching on something, I just want to keep stitching on it. And then I neglect my other pieces. I want to show a bit of love to all of them so that I get through all of them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm setting a little goal. When I finish that goal, put it away to the back, next one, and just, yeah, if there's any that I really don't enjoy working on, then they might be pushed to the side and I may not carry on with them, because this is a hobby. This is what we do because we love it. So if something's not bringing us joy, there's no point, because we won't, when I have it on the wall at the end, I won't appreciate it because I just think of all that time it took to do it, and I'm just better off to put it away, get the love. Speaking of the love coming back, there is a project that you didn't see in the whip parade because I had fallen out of love with it. Wait until the end and you'll see which one that is. But I was asked about it from that video, and my little brain started going. I was thinking, oh, I should have finished it. So we shall see which one that is at the end of the video, because I'm working on that now. So what was the first one I was working on? Well, we are going back to the 6th of May, and it was the King's coronation. So I wanted to bring out something that sort of said royal or something to me. So I decided to stitch on the Long Dog sampler, and it is the Templar prophecy. So the fabric is a stone Evenweave 28 count, and I wanted to do, oops, it's quite big. I wanted to do the horse here, but I didn't get round to that, so I only finished doing the that page. So I finished the page I was on already. So that was the 7th page out of 15. So when I come back to it next time, then I shall do the horse. The thread is the 115 DMC variegated. And yeah, not much to say on that one because I did bring it out for the whip parade and there's only a bit finished on that. But I didn't want to start on another page because I want to try, and when I bring these out I want to do a page at a time, and I didn't want to spend that much time on one project. I was eager to visit all of my projects quite quickly. So that was that one. Next one is Spring Topiary Garden. All of my bags are made by me. So I have a tutorial of how I make my simple bags. So Spring Topiary Garden. This is stitched on 32 counts Murano, and it is called Snow. It's an opalescent one. So my goal for this one was to finish the wing. So the wing on this side I stitched, and that was the end of that page, because this chart comes in 2 pages. So that was the end of that page, and then when I go back to it I shall be starting on the main part, is the garden. The reason for choosing the white in this fabric was because the dresses aren't stitched. Ooh. So if I'd chosen a coloured fabric I would have had to stitch white on all the bits you don't need to stitch. So I just went for the pearlescent. So I'm really pleased with finishing off that part, and that was a project that I did want to carry on stitching because I really enjoy stitching that. I'm using all the called for threads. So there's some Karen water lilies. I don't think there's any beads in that chart. Have a look. There probably is, because there usually isn't there. It's got Karen water lilies. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Karen water lilies. It's got Crinic, 3 types of Crinic braid, and Mill Hill beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Mill Hill beads. So it has got a lot going on. I've just not got to that yet. So we'll see how that develops in the future. The next one is Moons Out, Brooms Out, and this is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It would be nice to finish this one for Halloween this year. This is a nice relaxing stitch. It is stitched on 28 count Evenweave. It's by Fabric Flair and it's called Dusky Sky. So it's one of the Fabric Flair's printed ones. So I finished off this time the Out and Brooms. It needs back stitching yet, so I shall back stitch it when I do the moons part at the top. Oops. So that's where it is now. I've got to do, so it's nice doing the lettering. I quite like doing lettering, but I'm not looking forward to the rest of the moon. So there's some moon here, and I've used a metallic in that, which I remember wasn't very nice to stitch with. It is the DMC metallic thread, and it's just a fine thread, so I'm using that with the moon colour. With this one I'm not using the called for threads, so the colours may be different. I just wanted to use what was in my stash box, so I just matched the colours up to what they looked like, and yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I think it's a fun design, and as I said, I'm hoping that it'll be finished. Well, it will be finished. If I carry on with this plan, it will be finished because I haven't got a lot to go, and there's not a lot of back stitching or anything for the finishing off. So then we move into a Mirabilia. So this is Moons, it's not that. So next we're moving into a Mirabilia. So the next Mirabilia is Fairy Moon, and This fabric is Bewitched by Polstitches and it's 28 count Evenweave Bewitched. So Bewitched is the colour of the fabric. I am stitching this as it's called for. So this time I have been doing the floor part there, or cloud, whatever she's standing on. So that part is only 3 different colours. It is so all 3 are blends, and yeah, I've made up the 3 blends because it's 2 different numbers of DMC together. So I made up 3 different spools, so it was already pre-sorted. But it still was a bit of a mind twister for me because they are half stitch. So I'm going one way for half stitch. So the top leg of how I usually stitch, I'm going that way. The symbol for one of them is the opposite way. It messes with your head. But yeah, I'm about halfway, so I've got to do that much again up towards the wing, and then I will be doing, it's got a moon that's got a lot of beads, so really the main part of it is done then. And then what I'll be doing is I'll start at the bottom and I'll work my way up, so all the spaces I shall make sure they are beads and put the beads in or whatever needs doing. And so I finish on the bead encrusted moon at the top, and she's got a wand to come as well. So that's how I'll be working on that one. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, that one's nearly done, but it just takes a lot longer than you think, isn't it? That's the thing. You think got most of it done, but then there's still a lot of hours to go. But it'd be nice to finish her, because I started her in 2017, so way overdue. So next one is by Emma Congdon, and it's Between Two Pines. And I'm having trouble speaking today, aren't I? I'm stitching this on a forest green Aida. And so you use the actual Aida as like part of the stitching, so there is blank space where that deer is, that's not stitched. And so that line along here is the top of a page. It goes over 2 pages, so I'm stopping there. So this time I filled in this section here, this centre section, and so I've got some of this to finish on this side and then a lot to do on that side. So I shall be carrying on with that next time, finishing that bottom page off. But yeah, it's one of those designs that when you look at it, you think, oh, it doesn't really show up so much, but then when you hold it back, more like a painting, I think you see it more. Oh yeah, I am enjoying stitching this, and I'm glad I did go for the 14 count to make it easier on my eyes, being a dark fabric, because it's still quite hard to see. These aren't the called for colours. So it's from the book Cross Stitch for the Earth by Emma Congdon, and there is lots of beautiful designs. So I thought this was another project where I would use up some of my stash threads, and I do think that Emma's probably, the contrast is more, she's got like a brighter green, I think, than I chose. But after saying that, if I put one here and put a picture the other side, after saying that, I don't know how much printing in a book can change it, because they can, to make it clear, if they didn't think it showed up clear, they might have just sharpened it up in Photoshop or something. So It's hard to say, but I'm pleased how it's coming out now. I think there is variation, and so yeah, enjoying that one. It's nice to do something different to a Mirabilia. I could just stitch them all the time really, but I thought it'd be nice to try and move into more animals. We live in the English countryside, and I'd like to reflect that in the things that are on my walls around my house. So that's why, even though I love to do all the Mirabilias, I love animals and just wildlife, just English, British wildlife. So I'd like to incorporate more of that around the house, I think. Looking forward when I look for designs. That's why I wanted to vary it up a little bit more. So the last one that was put away, unloved, is back. So this is At the Met by Mirabilia. And so there's two issues I have with this. Now, first of all, it's on a 32 count Evenweave. I don't know what the Evenweave is, but it's really floppy. It hasn't got much substance. This was the first Mirabilia, I think. I was just getting into like hand dyed fabric and didn't really know what I wanted or liked. And I love the fabric. It is, I don't know I haven't got a name for who it is. I think this fabric would probably be better for if you're stitching in hand, because you can roll it up really small. But after saying that, what I don't like is when I'm stitching, you can feel the fabric moving. There's no resistance to my stitches. I don't know if I'm quite hard on the points. Shall I hold it back so you can actually have a look what we're talking about? So yes, that is one thing I'm not enjoying. I prefer a more stable fabric that's got a bit more oomph and holds its own really. So that's one thing, personal preference. The other thing is I did 1/1 skin, and I really didn't enjoy the experience. I didn't feel it came out very well. I didn't do it very well. I felt it's bumpy, and so that put me off because I just thought it wasn't good enough. But after bringing it out, no, it's not beautiful smooth skin, but it's okay. And I think it's important as crafters to accept where you are and how good you are, and just try and do it a bit better next time. And so I'm not going to be doing 1/1 skin because I just didn't enjoy the experience of it. If it's charted for 1/1, I will. But if it's not, then I shall do it 2/2 because I'm happy with that finish anyway. So yeah, that was my two stumbling blocks, but I love the design and I really do want it up on the wall. So I'm going to carry on. So at the moment I am beading on the skirt. There is also some back stitching to do on that skirt, and then I shall go on to these parts here on both sides. They have got some metallic braid, I think. I don't think they've got any beads, but yeah, I'm literally on the finishing stages of this now. So I'm going to work on that, and then next time I shall be working on the swags that hang down from her arms. And yeah, so she is really nearly finished. And once again, like I said about that between two pines, I think the thing is to look at it from a distance. Cross stitch generally is supposed to be looked at from a distance rather than up close. And looking at it as if it's on the wall, I think it's fine. But I wouldn't, it's not as nice as it's not as good as I want it to be, but it's where I was when I stitched it, and that's fine. So yeah, it is a beautiful design, and there's going to be so much going on. I think especially when those swags are under her arms, nobody's going to be looking at her skin that closely. I mean, got a bit of beading thread there as well, need to look at. But anyway, yes, that is At the Met. So Daffers, as I called her before when I started stitching her, Daphne DeVay, I nicknamed her because she looks like she's a bit snooty. So she needed a bit of a snooty name. So yeah, that is everything I have been stitching on over the past couple of weeks. So thank you so much for joining me. It feels really good to be back stitching, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm back again showing you how I've got on. And yeah, let's try and get some finishes and move on to some new things. There's plenty of things I'd really like to be stitching, and so yeah, I need to get these done. So take care, have a lovely week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.